I loved all the excuses he made for the Khabib fight because they were all highly entertaining because he remains the most entertaining interview in all of sports, and nobody's even close to me, right? Am I right? Does he not make you chuckle?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, everything he says just makes me LOL. But I still fear for him that if he gets this rematch he is campaigning for, that the result will not just be the same, it might be even worse the second time. Because I still believe that Khabib is highly capable of standing in the middle of the octagon and trading punches blow for blow with him, and maybe even winning the stand-up fight. And we know he is highly capable of taking Conor right to the ground and locking him up in a head, like a death grip headlock, and all but squeezing his little head off his body, because it looked like that was about to happen when that fight got stopped. Because we know Khabib is a little bear of a man with a killer will to match. And we know that Conor insulted his wife and his religion, and he was out for literal blood, if not death in that fight. And I just have a queasy feeling for Conor's case that the result would be just the same. But did I love all of his description of this as Jenny was reading? Yes, I did. Because then the other quote, I just got to read this because he actually misidentified. He said it was Khabib's brother, but it's his cousin actually. But they were into it before the fight. So anyway, he says that because Conor's contention is because he won the post-fight fight, he won the fight. I'm not sure that's how it works.
No.
Last time I checked, that doesn't go into the record books, right?
You should hit him in his eye socket. You should hit Khabib in his eye socket.
So he's talking about actually Khabib's cousin, and he said this is the second go-round after the fight. He says he broke free from security. He ran 100 miles an hour towards me. He threw a right hand, and as he threw the right hand, I threw a left hand. Boom! There's an image, an aerial image of his right hand just whipping by my face and my left hand just landing flush down the pipe. And then he says, the final blow of the night, so that's it. I win.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No. Then excuses he made. He said that 2.5 weeks before the fight, in a sparring match, that his sparring partner went for a takedown and somehow his toes got in the wrong spot and broke a couple of them, so he had a broken foot, he said.
Doc had to come reset him.
Had to come reset him in the middle of the ring. So that...
They swelled up like a effing balloon.
And that kept him from being able to train hard enough. And he said that he did he had lapses in commitment in his training, meaning he didn't train very hard. Because what did we say after you win? You make $100 million in the Floyd fight. Probably not going to be that motivated to get ready for this fight. And so he said he had a hard time dropping weight. And then he said he couldn't sleep for 48 hours. God knows what he was putting in his body at that point. And so he said, I was not ready. And he said, I also focused on defense instead of attack mode going into the Khabib fight. So he said, give me a second chance. And we saw what happened against Nate Diaz. So I do give him that one, the second go around. But I'm not going to give him this one. So I would fear for Conor's legacy and the rest of his career. If he goes into the ring with this guy again and he loses badly again, could that be the effective end of Conor McGregor as we knew and loved him?
Skip, I agree with you because all I hear was a lot of excuse making of why he didn't win the fight. Skip, it's almost like you play the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Well, we lost to Tom Brady, but I tripped his wife running on the field for the celebration. What the hell that got to do with anything? You were supposed to trip Tom Brady and win the game. And he's talking about he hit the dude's cousin, we thought it was his brother, after the fight. A fight in which he lost. Skip, Conor McGregor runs the risk of being Ronda Rousey.
You're right. No, that's a good analogy.
Because
same path right now.
Basically, he stand up, she was taken to the mat. And once she couldn't get Holly Holmes down, Holly Holmes kicked her, it was over. She couldn't get Amanda Nunes, because you remember in New York, Amanda Nunes, she says, I'm going to run through. She says, I'm going to run through her. And I remember going to break, and you and I looked at each other. I'm like, she going to kill Ronda.
Really? You knew.
Yes.
Wow.
And it was punishment.
And so Conor, if Conor can't stand up, he's a striker. The moment someone takes him to the mat, it's finito.
Nate Diaz first bout.
And this kid. This is what makes Johnny Jones so impressive. You want to stand and strike? Let's do it.
Whatever.
You want to wrestle? Let's do it. You want to take it to the mat? Let's do it.
You're right. There's never been anything like that.
And so he has to be careful because you lose another. Because remember, Ronda lost to Holly. She fought Amanda, lost again, and now she's in the WWE. Now she's taking a break, maybe starting a family. So he has to be careful.
Yep.
See, Dana White, I'm not so sure he's concerned about the rematch as he is the payday. He's like, if I'm going to take an ass whipping, I'm going to get as much money as I possibly can. Because when he signed, I think he signed like a 5-fight deal. But when you sign deals in this organization, you don't fight stiffs. You fight the best of the best. Dana White putting you, if you're number one, you fight number two if he's available.
That's true. That's the great thing about this sport.
You're not gonna say, well, you know what? I'm gonna fight number 15. I'm gonna fight number 20.
Yep.
Hey, go find me the toughest guy in the bar. Bring him in. No. That's why it's so hard to stay at top, because you fighting top 5, top 10 fighters all the time. So if Conor thought he was gonna sign this deal and fight some patsies, no, that's not gonna happen. Dana said, nah, get back in here. But see, like I said before, I think he's more interested in the payday than maybe this rematch, because I don't believe he can beat Khabib. Because, Habib.
It's hard. I mean, a lot of people get it wrong.
So here's the thing, Skip. You keep insulting the man's wife. You keep insulting his family and his religion. And the man is prideful. The man will hurt you.
He will hurt you.
People, people die
I don't blame him at all, because these were potent, deep, powerful insults.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I understand.
He actually did it to Floyd on their tour.
Yes.
He got
racial, and you
racist.
and I was like, okay, now we understand selling a fight.
Yeah.
But you can go over the line. You got to leave people die every day. People fight you for their religion and what they believe in. You leave that alone. If you want to insult the man, you want to talk about he got, cauliflower ears, or you want to say he's not a very good fighter, have at it. But when you start talking about his religion, his wife, and maybe that was Conor's trying to get him out of his game. But some guys, when you do things like that, you make them even focus even more.
Yeah.
And Skip, you notice when he got Conor in that choke, and the referee tapped him the first time, he didn't let him go.
He didn't let him go.
He just, no, tap me again. As a matter of fact, blow in my ear while you at it, and then I'll let him go. And Conor was sitting up in the corner like this here. Like, what happened? Khabib over there celebrate,
But then the real fight started, according to Conor, right? And he was just landing left and right. Eye socket, down the pipe.
You hit a guy wearing a pair of jeans and a chip shirt, as opposed to the guy that had on wrestling trunks.
Different kind of decking.
Come on, dude.
Nailed him. Yeah.
And he bragging. First of all, I'm like, when I heard that, he did a podcast. Okay, he did a podcast. I'm thinking it's some MMA. Tony Robbins? What the hell he doing with Tony Robbins?
I don't know.
He is entertaining, Skip. I will give you that. You always want to listen to what he has to say.
And you never know how much proper 12 he sipped before the podcast. I don't know.
Maybe that, Skip, had a lot to do with it. But this is what we do know about this sport, or boxing.
Yeah.
You either all in, or you get your ass beat on the way out. Skip, there is no option about this, because in basketball, if I'm LeBron go get me 50, or Steph get me 50, if I'm the sixth guy, I'm cool. We never know I didn't dedicate.
Yep.
But when you in an individual, when you in a fight game, you can't have that one. Because that's Mike Tyson, what happened when you have it. Buster Douglas happened. No. Okay, Conor, you can't have that, bro.
Okay, so speaking of happy, now we're back to the age-old cliche, money can't buy happiness. If Conor, let's say he gets the second fight and loses badly to Khabib, and he goes the Ronda Rousey route into WWE, will that make him happy? Because he had his $100 million fight,
right,
and he lost it to Floyd, even though I thought for a moment he had Floyd in trouble, he still lost.
Right.
It still got stopped.
Right.
And even though everybody gave him high marks for hanging in, boxing with Floyd, he still lost the fight, right?
Right.
So what's his legacy going to be? That he won the second fight with Nate Diaz? That's
it.
I mean, he had some other big wins.
And he's probably going to make more money than any MMA fighter in the history of the game. Yeah. But that's what you have to, like, when you see players that are great and all of a sudden they make tons of money, like Floyd.
Yeah.
For Floyd to train the way he trained, even after making the big payday after big payday, and still do it. When you watch Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, all these great at LeBron James, and they still put the time, effort in it, they have everything, and they still go do it again. It takes a special type of person, Skip, to be able to do that. Because that's not easy when you wake up and you look around, you're like, go train for what?
I know it's a lot of money, but being all in like that all the time?
And you get no off in this sport. You get no off in this sport, Skip, because you hurt. Because they can kick you, they can punch you, they can elbow you.
It's still so much easier for Floyd, even at age 42. he is so gifted. He is so he's the greatest defensive fighter ever. It's not even close to me.
Okay.
That he doesn't have to train that hard to get ready. He could step in with most of the fighters today and be okay with them.
But the thing is,
he could survive because you can't hurt him.
All Floyd got to worry about his hands.
Yeah.
You got to worry about knees.
That's
you
what
got to
I'm
worry about elbows. Somebody taking you down. They choking you. I mean, I'm like, and every time I watch another MMA fight, they come up with a move I'd never seen before. I'm like, he got to do. He choking him. I'm like,
different. You never know. You never know. Skip, I'm not so sure you believe number 2 has been all in lately for the Raptors, but did they prove that they actually don't really need him? Chris Broussard, he's going to help us answer that question.